Hey y'all, it's your girl Abby and I'm back with another video. In this video, we are going to be talking about triggers. Now, I know we all know what triggers are. Jhené Aiko told us in the song Triggered that, you know, it was not something to mess with. Like, if I'm triggered, I'ma see you and you gonna see me. But me and you, if we're on this channel, okay, I can safely assume that we are trying to be the best version of ourselves. We are not trying to be rambunctious and fighting people with our mouths and with our fists. We are trying to be grown, mature adults. And so let's talk about how to deal with those triggers and those emotions that just come up like a storm and we have nothing else to do with them but release. First and foremost, we all know what it feels like to be triggered, but what do we do in those moments of being irritated, frustrated, as if like a flash of memories just came in? And whether you feel it viscerally or mentally, how do we deal with that rush of emotions? Now, the first thing is to deal with those emotions. It's understanding that it's in your best interest to deal with those emotions head on. Now, what I have come to learn, okay, is that it does everyone in this situation a disservice to numb or suppress those emotions. Now, let me tell you guys a little story time about your girl, okay? I used to, like any other person, get triggered very often. I still do get triggered. Someone says something, I'm like, you trying to fight or what is it? Because not actually, I don't actually fight, but I just be feeling like that. Like, you said what? So you want to fight me? That's what you could have just said. I'm trying to fight, right? And what I used to do, instead of having like this emotional outburst of like anger or rage, because I used to really like get really heated and just start yelling, and times I noticed that I could be very, very slick with my mouth, and I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. So what I started to do was numb those emotions. I started to turn the light switch off on my emotions and just say, you know what, I'm not having a burst of rage. You're not taking that energy from me. And so I'm going to just turn off the emotions. And what I would do is actually just go numb to those emotions. And why this is so bad and so counterproductive is because although in the moment of switching off our emotions and not having an emotional outburst or not talking about it, removing yourself from the situation, although that seems healthy in the moment, what it does is suppress those emotions, and you can only suppress emotions for so long. Things are going to come up again and you're going to have to deal and confront whatever the conflict was. And so suppressing your emotions and trying to like numb them and not feel them or not deal with them only prolongs the conflict and sometimes even makes it bigger. It was never about suppressing your emotions, but rather communicating them in ways that are effective for yourself and your self-expression, but also for others to see where you're at and what you are going through. Self-expression is one of the most amazing and vital tools that you can start to build and work on if it's not something that comes natural to you. I know I'm on here in front of the camera expressing myself, but I will be honest with you, in my personal relationships, I am not the open book that I am on, that you might presume I am because I have a social media platform. I am very much so reserved, especially when it comes to my emotions. I'm very sensitive, and so I like to keep things to myself because in some weird way, I feel like no one else fully understands me or is going to get me the way that I get me, right? But that is, in its essence, that is not true, and it's a trick that we tell ourselves, and it's a trick that keeps us, you know, bottled up and keeps our emotions suppressed and repressed, right? In actuality, we can use our language, we can use our self-expression to communicate to other people and really bring them into our world so that they can understand us. And so it's removing that idea that no one will understand us, that our pain or our sensitivity or our understanding is too deep for anyone else. No. that is actually the way that you can look at it, is actually like a challenge. Okay, I'm feeling so many emotions right now from left to right. It's just a wall painted with colors of emotions, right? How am I going to take this wall of color and articulate it in a way that not only reflects how I am truly feeling, but in a way that other people can understand me? And so it's a muscle that you have to work, and it takes practice, right? But it is super beneficial, and it is something that's essential in any type of connection or relationship, friendship, romantic, with your parents, with your siblings, any type of relationship, your coworkers, anybody, right? And so how can we communicate and express our emotions? What I have found super helpful for myself is trying to pinpoint the emotions that I am going through. So like we kind of had this visual arrangement of the emotions, right? When we are triggered and we're going through something, it's a wall full of like splattered paint. We've got red, we've got yellow, we've got purple, we've got violet, we've got colors that we can't even name, right? And so when you're triggered and you're seeing this wall of color, take a second to step back and start pinpointing the colors that you see. Okay, I'm angry. And I'm angry because they said this, and that made me think of that. Okay, so I'm angry. All right, well, there's something else in there. There's something more. I'm not just angry because I don't even feel rage. Oh, I'm hurt. I'm sad. Okay, what was it that they said or did that made me feel this sorrow? Pinpoint that, right? And so by the end of it, you're going to have a list of emotions that you are actually feeling. Sometimes we like to cover all of our emotions with anger or all of our emotions with sadness, when in actuality, we're feeling a bit of disappointment. We're feeling a bit of betrayal. And so it's important to pinpoint exactly what it is we're feeling, because when we pinpoint it, we can then communicate it and we can then express it to the ones that we are in connection with, right? The people in our lives, the people that we're having conflict with, we can now express that. And guess what? When we express it, they now see where we're at. Okay, you see me. Now let me see you. And hopefully it's a back and forth where we can both take the second and pinpoint the emotions that we're going through, right? So this is really like a strategy to navigate through triggers and conflicts, right? And this is something that I have been doing for years and years and years. I will say before we close out of this video that previously I was definitely the type of person that would just shut down and go numb, right? I would be triggered. I would be literally like physically feeling this visceral rush of emotion that starts from my head and goes all the way down. It's like, whew. And instead of dealing with it or trying to pinpoint what it was I was feeling, I would just flick off the light switch. And I would just say, not today, Abby. We're not doing it. Off. And I would just go numb. And people would look at me and be like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're like a robot. Like, I never know what you're thinking. I never know how you're feeling. And I used to think that, well, good. You shouldn't know what I'm thinking. You shouldn't know what I'm thinking, like feeling. It's you know, this is so personal to me. My emotions are so personal to me. But what I realize is it actually separates me from people, and it actually pushes people away because they aren't able to see me. And also for myself, it creates a storm within myself that I never actually had to deal with. I never actually had to go through. I could have just expressed how I was feeling instead of pushing people away by numbing my emotions, by numbing my self-expression. And so I hope this is something that is helpful for anyone that is sensitive, for anyone that is maybe fearful of expressing their emotions or isn't used to having like open communication. I'm definitely not used to it. It's something that I'm learning, and I'm in the process of like working out that muscle of like just openly communicating where I'm at with the people that are in my lives. This is what I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. This is why I'm triggered. There is no shame in it. You know what I mean? We've all got our triggers, and you might think that your triggers are silly and childish and kind of like shameful, but everybody has them, and everybody's triggers are related to their history, their past. And so there is no shame to that, and we all have them. So, you know, you don't have to hide it. Your best bet is to go and express it and be seen, because that is like the best feeling ever, to be seen and understood. But here I go again, rambling, because golly, I could do that for hours and hours. But I think we're gonna end the video here. I want to thank you guys for showing so much love on my previous video. If you haven't already checked it out, I will put a little card over here. We talked about a lot about turning our strengths into weaknesses and that kind of thing, growth as per usual. But thank you guys for making it this far in the video. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. This is my opportunity to self-express and reflect on my life and share the nuggets and the little gems that I've learned along my journey. And I would love for you guys to also comment below the little things and nuggets that you have learned, so that we can kind of create this discord and this open communication where it's not just me speaking, but it's us connecting. And so definitely comment below your thoughts and ideas, and any future tips, any tips that you have for us in terms of self-expression and communication. I would love to hear from you guys, and I'm sure that everybody watching this video would also love to see and hear and learn more. So anyways, I will see you guys in another video. Thank you again for watching. I love you. Peace and love, and goodbye for now.